All right, so we're going to look at the sum and difference identities, or how to actually apply the formulas. So we're going to find the cosine of 15 degrees. We're going to find an exact answer. So not the old, all right, not just the decimal answer that we get on our calculator. We're going to find out what the exact answer is, like involving the square roots and stuff. So the way it works is you want to rewrite this angle in terms of angles that we know how to find sine and cosine of, like 30, 45, and 60. And basically what these formulas are going to do is allow us to find sine, cosine, and tangent for increments, having to do with 15 degrees. All right. So 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, and so on. So this is just going to add a little bit more than what we've already come to know. All right. So the first thing we want to do is we want to express this 15 in terms of two angles that we are familiar with. So the best way that we could do this, we could either do, we could either call this 60 minus 45, or we could call it 45 minus 30. It's kind of a judgment call. It's up to you. I'm probably just going to go with 45 minus 30. All right. So the cosine of 15 degrees, that is the same as 45 minus 30. And so what this tells me is that I'm going to be using the cosine difference formula. All right, so I'll be using this formula right here. And everything just kind of gets plugged in just like you would think it does. It's pretty straightforward. Okay, we'll try to stack it like this. All right. So A is going to be like my 45, and B is going to be my 30. So it's going to be cosine of A and then cosine of B. Here, I'll just write down here. Cosine of A, which is 45, times the cosine of B, which is 30. And notice my middle sign here is a plus. Plus, and then it's the same thing, sine of A and sine of B, which is 30 degrees. And then we're just going to work these out, all right? Because we know the exact values of all these expressions here. So cosine of 45 degrees, that is a root 2 over 2. Cosine of 30 degrees, all right, if you don't have that handy, cosine of 30 degrees is the x value at that point, and that's going to be root 3 over 2. All right, root 3 over 2 plus, and then sine of 45, again, that's root 2 over 2 times the sine of 30, which is 1/2. All right, we'll multiply these out. Straight across, we get a root 6 on top, a 4 on bottom. And then for this term, we're going to get a root 2 on top and a 4 on bottom. And we can go ahead and combine them now. They got the same denominator. And we'll just call it root 6 plus root 2. There it is. That's our exact answer for the cosine of 15 degrees, in case you ever needed it. But it would be the exact same if you had worked out cosine of 60 minus 45. It'll end up giving you the exact same answer. But all right, let's do one more here. We'll do sine of 285 degrees. So we're going to want to write this in terms of, usually it's like a 45 degree angle is what I always end up going with. So if I take 285 and minus 45, so I could work with sine of 240. 240 is one of my special angles. Or if I took 285 and tried adding 45 to it, I could use 330. All right. So I could either write the 285 as 330 minus 45, or I could say 240 plus 45. it's just dealer's choice. It's up to you. I'm going to go ahead and say this is sine of 240 plus 45. Cool. All right, so I'm going to be using my sine addition formula here. This paper got some water on it. Okay. All right, so it starts off with sine A cosine B. So it's going to be sine of 240 and then times the cosine of 45 plus the cosine of 240, right? And then it's going to be sine of 45 times the sine of 45. Okay, there's the setup. And I was evaluate these now. All right, sine of 240. So 240 is going to be the y value at this point. It's going to be negative because we're in quadrant 3 here, and that's going to be root 3 over 2. All right, so it's the y value, so it's the further down one. So sine right here would have been 30 degrees, but that would be like my 30-degree angle. This one's like my 60-degree angle, so it's going to be root 3 over 2 for the sine of 240. All right, so this will be a negative root 3 over 2. And then, of course, cosine of 45, that's root 2 over 2. Now, cosine of 240, that's also negative. And that's how far to the left and right that is, which is going to be 1/2. Okay, so it'll be negative 1/2. So I can actually put a minus right here, huh? Yeah, so it's a negative 1/2, so I'll say minus 1/2, and then times root 2 over 2 for the sine of 45. And the same thing is going to happen here. I'll get a negative root 6 on top. So negative root 6 on top. And 2 times 2 is 4. And then minus, I'll get a root 2 on top. And I'll get a 4 on the bottom. And now I can go ahead and combine into one denominator. 4 there. And it's going to be negative root 6 minus root 2. There it is. And, if you want to, you can go ahead and check your answer. Sine of 285 gives us this value here. And then if I type in this expression, I should get the exact same answer here. Negative root 6 minus root 2 over 4. And there it is. Exact same thing. So that wasn't too bad. All right, that's it for this one.